Morning. We are back live. Happy Monday. I got a bit of R&R yesterday. So the goal is going to be to close out this release strong. Hopefully have it actually properly tested. Not forget any of the things we need. I'm going to start off today by applying just a Band-Aid patch to the setup so that we can actually build things without having to manually copy files around today. It'd also help with a bunch of the people who are kind of trying to fight with the dev branch to keep stuff working. We'll do that. We're going to look at our sweep code. There's a lot of stuff that we need to finalize on sweeps. And then likely a lot of just small environment binding changes and integrations. To make sure all of our environments work with dev, we've made some small C API changes. They're going to need to be, things are going to need to be updated for. So we'll do that. And that pretty much will get us onto the experimentation and testing phase. We're kind of just on we're on sort of between the minor fixes phase and that final testing phase. So I want to really get us to that. I think actually the main thing that I don't know about there is probably just the sweep stuff. There's still a couple rough edges, but we'll get to that. Let me switch to the scene view and we'll get started. Cool. Hang on. Let's see, posted it here. Yes, he did. So let me see if this even makes any sense. Yeah, so this thing runs an additional copy. I don't know why this doesn't happen by default. But we can see here that it is actually correctly copying now. Yo, what's up, Mr. Sup? Morning. Okay, let's see what actually runs. Let's actually do a full -e dot. Let's see if our commands work at all. -1 fly. Okay, so for some reason it's defaulted to 3.8. We'll fix that on the container. Actually, can we do what's the NVIDIA Docker containers? I'm just trying to think of okay, so this is, they do still ship 2204 containers. I believe 2404 is the first Docker version where things get stupid. I mean, the first Ubuntu version where things get stupid. So we can probably just put like Python 3.12 on, what is it, the 12.8 container. Oh yeah, they ship containers with everything, huh? .8.1 devel. So we'll probably do this. Now the only thing is we probably want to have maybe 2 versions. 12.8 is like really new and your drivers are going to be dated. I could also just do 12.8 and make an upgrade driver script. That's also valid, right? That might be easier to maintain even. This seems to run perfectly fine. Cool. Okay, so we have that issue fixed. Now let's check on our experiments. Check on our experiments. Why you have 2 terminals running on the same folder? So I can do this. Right, I can run training, and then I can, like, edit here. Because all my dev is also just in term. So I have an edit window, and usually I have a run window. And normally this one would be a full size, like this would be my full left screen. But I have my cameras in the way, so I have chat on this monitor, so it's easier for me to see without looking over like this. Okay, so whatever I ran here was like okay, but not quite as good as before, it looks like. Let's figure out what this was. I think this is with resets. Yeah, I think this is like if you reset the end and run a very small amount of like follow-up stuff. Let's try a few things here. This is like a very small sample as well. I also don't like that we have two train functions. Might have to rename some things. But for now here, I think... Oh, hang on. This is not resetting, right? This? I don't think I've seen... Well, I don't know if you're new to the stream. So this is... I do ultra high performant reinforcement learning dev. So all these demos on puffer.ai, these are all simple games, but written in C to run like 10,000 times faster than you would normally expect. And we train AI on these, and we use these for research in order to make the methods behind all of this way better. So you can see all of these in your browser, and like this is a neural net playing this game, Superhuman, live in your browser. We've got multi-agent stuff like the snake game, so if you watch this for long enough, you'll see like all sorts of snakes emerge. We've got like classic arcade stuff, and we've even got more complex and interesting things like this massively multi-agent environment, which has like economy and trade and resources and equipment and all sorts of things. So this is what I do. This is my job. Trying to like improve this field and progress the science here. And I stream all the dev because why not? Yeah, so this chart is, this is a Neptune interface. So this is 200 experiments. Each of these experiments is, that's E8. So this is up, each of these experiments is up to 600 million steps of maze solving. So this plot has, I don't know, probably like a couple, like few hundred years worth of like games played just solving mazes. And the goal of this is to like automatically find the best algorithm settings. So like some of the experiments we run, they don't do very well, but then we have a method that automatically tunes the way that our experiments are run in order to get better results overall here. So this graph that I'm seeing, yeah, this graph that I'm seeing doesn't... Oh, no, here it is. Yeah. Okay, so there is an async reset here. you're not going to alpha code your way. So here's the thing, when you use code as your primitive, not everything, when you're talking about code in the way that they are, it's like scripts and classic algorithms, like classic software. Not every problem is amenable to that. Like, for instance, if you imagine trying to like script a bot for Dota, like a bot to play Dota, or a bot to like, do any sort of fiddly task, often like calibrate a machine in industry, or like optimize some process, like the data center cooling that they did as well was deep RL. It's way better to have these processes be fuzzy, and you want a model that can actually just output actions directly. So it's not like one is just better than the other. It's like they're different. There are different use cases. It's not even that I'm bearish on the stuff that that's happening in language modeling land. Like DeepMind's doing really cool stuff in that space as well. It's just like I think deep reinforcement learning is also really important, and comparatively, like nobody's working on it. So that's why I do this stuff, right? If there's an important problem and 0 other qualified people are doing it, that's an opportunity for me. All right. We're going to run this. We're going to see what this does. And if this doesn't work, then I think that there's something screwy with the hyperparam sweep specifically that's like requiring you to have skewed results for it to work. Grind does stop a little bit. I had to take the better part of yesterday off to sort of just recover. Got a little bit of a run in, got some lifting in. I kind of chilled for a bit. It was good. Yeah, so I think that we're probably good to just like crank out this release over the next few days. That's the goal. I got 45 minutes-ish, 40 minutes-ish now, and then after breakfast I will be back for the whole rest of the day doing this. That is the plan. Okay. So we're going to try the maze sweep one more time. And we're going to hope that we actually get like some more reasonable stuff out of this, but I'm going to try to monitor this more throughout the day so we get more runs in, because really this hyperparam stuff needs to just be done. Like this is the only missing like functionality piece, is just like getting the default settings for hyperparam sweeps solid. I'm gonna leave this up on the other window. Wait, there's a release? Yeah, big release coming as soon as I well, as soon as I finish all the like testing and stuff for this. All this stuff is free and open source code, but we operate in like 4 to 6 month usually release cycles. So I only ship 2 or 3 major big versions a year, but like they're really large. So like it's a generational leap, if you will. Like reinforcement learning in 2.0, it works if you automate the hell out of it. Reinforcement learning in 3.0, once I finish the fiddly bits, kind of just works a lot of the time out of the box. And then hopefully by the end of the year we get 4.0, which if that goes the way that I hope it does, it should just be yet again like a completely different field. And at that point we'll kind of be able to just solve whatever. The grind takes a small lifting intermission break. Thanks for the reminder. And get more coffee. The pressing strength is definitely back. Need to get my pulling and leg strength back to where they used to be. The current project. All right. So let's look at the original maze sweep that worked. So like you can see these all these like jank ones here that didn't work. It's actually pretty weird. So based on these, I actually am probably not going to expect this thing to work correctly. Let me find the good one. Mark Rippletoe approved. Man, he was the starting strength guy, right? I did 5x5s for like maybe the first 2 years, and then 2 things kind of happen. 1, it stops working, and 2, a 5x5 once you are decently strong, especially if you're doing any other sort of exercise outside of that, because like I run as well, it's just a brutal thing to do. Like to always be doing a 5x5. Like I do if I do a 5x5 of squats, that's it, I'm out for the day. So I had to do heavy light days for like a year or so after that. And then I sort of like the focus was on running for like a year till I did my my 50K. Then I came back, got my 1,000 total, and then pneumonia kicked my ass, so I'm still recovering from that. Higher score? No, higher score is good. No problem with questions, you're new. So what this is, let me explain what this is. So this is a solve percentage on the y-axis. And this is for mazes. So like if I just do, let me see if I have a demo for this. Nah, we don't have the demo file on this. Here, puffer eval. Okay, so this is a random agent solving a maze. It's not going to do very well because it's random. So the goal is to learn an agent that can solve this maze, and then we randomly generate new mazes of different sizes as well. So the maze could be like this big, or the maze could be the size of this whole window here, down to around here. So we're trying to train a good maze solving agent, and specifically, it's not that mazes are very interesting, it's that they're a very tough problem for RL to solve. Like, RL can solve really, really amazing things, but not really mazes very well. Mazes are very hard. So what happens is, if you're good at solving mazes, it often is the case that your same algorithm is going to be good at solving a lot of other things as well, with reinforcement learning specifically. So y-axis here is the percentage of mazes that it solves, and x-axis is the number of steps that we've trained the agent for. And then all the different graphs are different experiment settings. So one of these lines, this is 50 million here. So one of these lines is an agent trained for 50 million steps on solving mazes. So it's made 50 million moves within different mazes. And you can see that we have some settings that do very poorly and some settings that do pretty well up here. So my goal here is to get an algorithm, get a setting such that when we release Puffer, you can run this thing and it should generate you very good consistent results on mazes. And then what I do on top of that, right, is I don't just do mazes, right? I run it on breakout, I run it on neural MMO, which is a fancy end, I run it on multi-agent stuff, I run it on tons of different things, and if it does well on all of them, then that is a robust algorithm. So that is the goal. And if we are able to do that, then we will have made a monumental difference in the field of reinforcement learning, because this stuff kind of just doesn't exist outside of PufferLib right now, my project. So yeah, that's our goal. I'm trying to find the good maze result. Okay, yeah, so this is the one that I was looking for. So this is, I think, the best one that we've seen so far. How much funding do you have for PufferLib? I don't take funding. We have a few clients. We charge for not any of our code. Our code's all free, but we charge for priority service. So let's say that you're doing reinforcement learning industry. You're probably having a tough time of it because it's really hard. We have the best tech and the best tools to help you solve that problem. So you can pay us to have our eyes on your problem, to get all of our latest tools as they come out instead of waiting for the next release, and to help steer some of our research directions in ways that benefit you. So we charge for that, and then that funds like servers and many of the other things that we need. Building a kind of setup for algorithm testing. Yeah, it's a bit of both, because like PufferLib is both a toolkit for doing reinforcement learning very, very well in academia and industry, but it's also a toolkit for advancing reinforcement learning itself. And we use it for both. So the thing that I'm running into right now, which is a little bit weird, is this is the best set of maze experiments that I have. And I believe that the way that I got these was that when I do my evaluations, I reset the maze before I evaluate it, and then I run for like a small fixed number of steps. And that actually guides the curves to be better. Whereas with this one, it's like the same thing, except I don't reset the mazes for evaluation, and then this totally screws stuff up. Now looking at this here, there's a big difference in the x-axis I'm just noticing now. Wait, this is 5v7. Oh, okay. I think that the issue that we're running into is just somehow one setting is running longer experiments than the other, which would make a lot more sense. Yeah, and to new folks, like, I generally do the best job I can, kind of just narrating stuff as I'm thinking it. But like, I mean, this is like a research stream first and foremost. So if stuff doesn't make sense and you're curious, just ask questions. Like half the reason I stream. Part of it is like it forces me to narrate my thought process out loud, which actually makes me more productive than any time I spend talking to chat anyways, so it's cool. Um, and the other thing that's nice about this is all of PufferLib's free and open source. And like one of the main ways that we advance the field is from open source contributors. So like if you're interested in working on AI stuff and you want to learn this and you have not even an AI background, if you just have a programming background, most of these environments are written by contributors. Like most of these are a few hundred lines. It's basically just low-level game development with a few extras in order to make them work well with reinforcement learning. So like, we have contributors that we've onboarded that are now doing stuff that rivals like top academic labs in RL. So if you're interested in that, drop by the Discord, or hit me up and come build with us. Okay, so this is performing differently compared to before. It's not all stuck on these really short runs, it seems. So possibly this does okay. I think we will leave this one for like the next, and probably until after breakfast, and then we'll check this experiment. But this is like not looking terrible just initially. Now I do wonder why there's so many of these like bad runs down here. This is a little bit sketchy. We'll have to do some analysis on that, but I think as a first pass, this is pretty decent. Okay, so that checks off two of the things that I wanted to get started for this morning. Let's go check the to-do list. We've got all the blog posts to work on. I do not feel like doing that right now. We've got docs to finish, kind of. Maze sweeps, ablations. Okay, I think I figured this out. I'm just looking through the list of like things that we still have to do. I think it is mostly going to be just like final build stuff, huh? So the biggest thing is probably just going to be all the environments need to be updated and adjusted a little bit. So I think Bet gave me some PRs that I haven't merged. How can you quantify how far are we at solving the maze? Yeah, you only solve it if you reach the endpoint. So 80% of the maze, there's no solve 80% of the maze. It's solving 80% of mazes-ish. There's some details on that, but roughly that metric means for 80% of the mazes that we give you, you solve them. That's what it means. More precisely, it means if I generate you a random maze, there's about an 80% chance that you'll solve it. And to be clear, like, so reinforcement learning is really not good at mazes, and it's not supposed to be. Like, there are reasons not to expect it to be good. So how well we are able to do in this is actually a very good indication that we just have the best algorithm overall. Because like our agent, I've shown this to other researchers in RL as well, and they're like, what the heck, how are you able to do that? Stars? Yeah, 2037 stars. Very good. I think we go merge Bet's PR right now. Got Gabe has sent us a new environment as well. We've got Bet's pushed as is, removed, slash from end binding. Okay. That's fine. He's got binding.c. He got rid of the Python file. He's added us the new binding format for triple triad, it looks like. The triple triad code is a mess. We don't have too high of standards there. There's the new log structure. This is done correctly. Removes all the old stuff. This is good. This is also fine. I believe this is good too. Got allocate on this. Into the freeze. I think he removed he re-indexed actions a little bit. Should be fine. He like refactored a few names. That's fine. New binding, very good. And remove this from there, good. Thank you, Bet. We will merge this. Mention paths. Yeah, let's get rid of this. And then I believe triple triad here we can get rid of because we're removing the Python. Two conflicts. I don't see anything else. Oh, there it is. And then we can get rid of this because we automated the binding of files. Good work to Bet. No attribute. So we have to fix the config. Most likely. Rid of this. And now this is when we're going to hit the new binding nonsense. Holy. So, is this free? So this just has to call free triple triad. And honestly, why don't we just... We can just make this C close. Undefined symbol C close. This should be defined now. Is it not building? I see the Scython stuff building. Excuse me. Okay, it's still not building. Okay, I think that was something, right? Returning void star. That's not in here. Okay, well, let's see if this runs. It does. And that trains. That, like, trains very well. Perfect. Three and a half million steps a second. I am totally gonna have to make like a sample, or maybe just comment like the squared sample project. One of those two things. That does now work though. And if we check our mazes, I mean, we're getting some decent runs here, right? So what's this? 70 in 200 mil. And then I believe this is 500 mil, right? Yeah, so this is 500 mil. So 200 mil. We actually do have within 200 mil, we've got like 0.9. So we'll see how this goes as it runs more experiments. I do think that this one takes a while to find the good runs, right? Let me double check that. Okay, yeah, so like this one took, what's this, like probably 40, 50 experiments before it got any that were this good. Probably that like the first ones it came up with were very long, and then it found shorter ones later. So this is fine. Yeah, this is totally fine. Welcome, YouTube folks. Happy Monday. So things to do today, because I've got breakfast in 15-ish minutes. But I think the plan today should be update all the M's, and then start working on docs around that. And actually, I'm going to see, let me just @bet. Observation issues for Python M's in dev. Let me go see your, is it this thing, Linky? Right here? Or is there a different issue? So this seed thing is just it needing a seed. So like, was it Pokemon is what you're doing? So all I have to do for this is that, all right? Maybe even this. And then run mini grid. Sure. So this is post-process. This just got moved is all. This gives you a nice clean error. And I do have to make sure this installs with the right Python. But that's just because I have weird, hang on, this broke my term. Let's fix your shape stuff. Thank you for the reports, by the way. This is all just like, you know, stuff I need. I do need all these reports to be able to fix things quickly. Because all that happens, right, is I have to like slice and dice things to get things clean for release. And I'm obviously going to break stuff in the process. Yeah, ideally we can, I wish I had better tools for that, actually. But yeah, that is on the list as well. Or should be. Oh, those aren't even deprecated imports. They're just changed. Deprecated would be that I support the old way of doing it. I just don't. Okay, so this is seed here, right? Okay, so I got your error here. At least this is hitting a spot where it's supposed to hit, right? Like, it's supposed to hit this error if something is wrong, rather than just randomly failing. Dict adder for obs D type. Hang on. Okay, so this is just that there's one environment. I actually would like to fix that one real quick. I actually think this squeeze is kind of bad, huh? Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna have to fix that elsewhere. And I think this is running like a single environment. Dict adder for obs D type. I don't get that one. This does seem to be training. And now this has to be update. We really should have config validation. It's just hard for me to figure out how to do it well. So now this should be reasonable SPS. Okay, so there's your 30K mini grid. That's much better, right? And let's see if this breaks anything else. Doesn't break this. Might screw with the continuous, we'll see. Nativize D type. And policy throw dict obs errors. Oh, I know what that is. Where? Do you have that anywhere? Because I know what that is. Oh, here? PyTorch. Are you sure you're on the updated version for that? Because that's not the code that I have. Yeah, so Linky, I already fixed that one. That one's already fixed in dev. Let me see with NetHack, because I think I tried this on NetHack before, which has nativized D type. Yeah, so that's fixed, Linky. Yeah, I definitely want Pokemon working in this, and I do need to do that flush thing for that guy as well. The hope with Pokemon is that we're going to be able to like soda with the new changes. Like our new trainer is really, really, really good. We should be able to soda it. I do have to run for breakfast in a few minutes though. So we'll finish that until I gotta go. But just for the other folks watching at the moment, this is all free and open source dev, as you can see here. Puffer.ai for all the details. If you want to help me out for free, just start the repository. Really helps. And if you want to get involved with dev, just join the Discord. That easy. And let me see what we can help link you with. You're good. Do what you need to. Well, I got a couple minutes, I think. Just let me know if the current version works. I'm sure I broke all the ocean M's. Like, if you recompile any of the ocean M's, they're all gonna break. But that's on the to-do list today. That's just straight up, like, I changed the name of a couple of functions. And I need to, like, edit some C. Zero dependencies is kind of crazy. How many actual depths do we have that we need? I mean, there's just like so much garbage, right? I mean, unless you're literally making NumPy, like TinyGrad, you need a NumPy. OpenCV we can probably get rid of. Python, we're almost getting rid of. We use just Rich as like our training demo to prettify some stuff. These are like standard annoying things. So is this. Torch. Because Torch. This is also Torch. So the only stuff is like PS util and image IO maybe. You posted in thread, let me take a quick look and then go for breakfast. And then I will be back for the whole rest of the day with more dev. Is that on Pokemon specifically? Yeah. So I'm basically going to have to run that specific env to ceiling key because native D types is supposed to be a dictionary, but for some reason you just have one type. You see? Like that's supposed to be in a dictionary. So yeah, just like remind me or nudge me around when you're around today or whenever, and I'll like get this thing set up and we'll see why it doesn't work with current puffer, and I'll fix that for you. It is 10, right? Yeah, okay. I'm gonna go for breakfast. Thanks, folks. Star Repo to help us out, all that.